In 2022, a crack Spurg unit was sent to sensory-friendly prison by the court of public opinion for a crime they probably did. These men promptly escaped from a maximum security gay baby jail to the podcasting underground. Today, still wanted by Autism Speaks, they survive as gamers of fortune. If you have a problem, if someone else can help but doesn't want to, and with the right bribe, maybe you can hire the Autismo team.
Welcome back to Three
Gentlemen.
Let's talk
Poppycock.
for now. This is our substitute,
Gentlemen.
Jesse.
Hi. Filling in loudly, ladies and gentlemen.
That's just going to be
If
the
we can
intro.
actually say that, we'll get banned.
No, that's the intro. You did it. That's it. So we recorded, and then a couple months later, I realized, oh, we didn't do the whole lived experience angle of ADHD, which is kind of, this podcast is all about lived experience and, you know, the internal perspective of things. And so I
There's
decided,
also a lot of
Stuff.
going on in real life.
and so our boy Dan, he got real sick and his computer crashed all around the same time. So he's not on this episode. So instead, I have my buddy Jesse. If you want to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Jesse,
Yeah, what up?
and I live with ADHD. Thank you guys for having me, man. I'm excited.
I don't live with ADHD. My ADHD lives with me.
Right. It tells me what to do. I don't understand it. Thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it. I love to share. I love to share my experiences as a high functioning ADHD success story,
Yep.
at least in my own mind.
Hey, if you encourage one person, it's worth it, right?
That's it. 100%, bro. 100%.
So I'm trying to remember, because like I said, it's been months since we recorded the first half.
We are so bad at this.
Yeah, I guess that's what makes us the best at it, though, because it's
Right? That's what
But we
draws
never
people
gave
to
up.
it. Yeah, that's what draws people to it.
Perseverance.
Cliffhangered.
Yeah.
Cliffhanger. What's happening next?
So I think in the first half, I did mention your new acronym for ADHD. It's a TARD.
Yeah, right?
I can't remember how it went. It was time something, wasn't it?
Yeah, I can't remember what it is either. That's what happens with ADHD. You forget stuff.
I've literally worked and quit on 500 projects in between.
Yeah, that and this. Yeah, I've forgotten more today than I remembered yesterday. It's kind of sad.
You guys remember things?
It's kind of
Yeah, nah. If I don't write them down, I never do. Plus, I'm getting older, so that doesn't help at all either.
No, I've been having my roommate write everything down for me because there's so many tasks. I'm like,
Right.
I need to do that soon. Please write it down, because if it's not written down, it's never going to happen. And then I'm going to walk
I
in
will
one day, and our beloved plant will be dead, and I'll be like, "What happened?"
It didn't make the
You
list.
haven't, you.
Fibus.
Yeah,
It didn't make the list. Sorry.
yeah. I mean, we have one big project that we need to do, but God knows when that's going to happen, because it's been several years now. we keep
That's
saying,
what happens, bro.
We keep saying we're going to do it. We have a shed that needs to come down. It's an old wooden shed. The previous owners of the house built it while he was drunk. According to the neighbor's testimony, he was sloppy drunk the entire time, which kind of makes
Nice.
sense because it's not square at all.
Right.
And full of squirrels.
It is full of squirrels completely. It's the Squirrel Hotel.
Infested.
That's right. Lyrics actually seen the place. I didn't have you go in, did I?
Nah, I went in there.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And he lived to tell about it.
No squirrel bites.
I didn't live, actually. I'm just a replica made by the squirrels to infiltrate British society.
Chat GBT created.
The gray squirrels.
Yeah.
'Cause that's all we have over here. The gray squirrel. You're an agent of the gray squirrels to
Infiltrate.
find and
See,
exterminate the remaining.
I know
red.
where all the holdouts of the red squirrels are.
Yeah,
Right?
ADHD.
The real
Lyric.
is still back in the shed.
When we pull it down, we'll find your rotten corpse.
Right. There he is. Oh my God! Somebody needs to call England. Warn them.
Get England on the phone, crikey.
Right. I'm coming. I'm coming for you.
So since
Crikey is
Actually,
Australia.
Hoover,
I know it is, but I gotta take.
urine,
Well, there's a toilet for that.
Yeah. Well, Dan's not here, so he can't do it. So I'm gonna help him. And since he's not here, I also have to do. So guys, ADHD.
Autism.
Is that what he says a lot?
Yeah.
It's
if-
basically his catchphrase.
I was
It
going to
is.
say, is that his catchphrase?
It is, but like it's only been recorded one time on the actual podcast.
Ah, you got to get him to do a voiceover so you can just hit the button.
So you
Yes.
you look at the website. It's at the top. It's So Guys Autism. And that's why it's there. So when we go off topic, that's what he does. We go off topic and then we get quiet for a couple seconds, and he goes, "So
Right.
guys, autism."
Always
like,
the
oh,
first
yeah.
thing he says when we start a call.
Yeah, that too. So a little life update. My roommate, she tore her Achilles tendon, and she is like my executive functioning part of my brain, externally. And since she can't get up and walk around and help me organize my thoughts when I'm doing tasks, everything's a friggin' mess in the house.
A lot of starts and not a lot of finishes.
Yeah.
Raise your hand if you're surprised by that.
No.
No hands are up, dude. I don't get it.
Come on, guys. Not even
Yeah.
funny. But
Nope.
so I've been, we're trying to save money on top of it because we don't know what kind of medical bills are going to come out of this.
Right.
So I've been cooking
The bill kind.
the bilious. We've been cooking basically every meal, or I've been cooking basically every meal. And oh my goodness,
Oh my.
darn,
I need like a filter on Firefox or whatever browser that whenever you look at a recipe, it like triples the expected time.
Right.
Because they always say, prep time 15 minutes. I'm like, yeah, all right.
3 hours later.
Yeah, like literally, I'll be chopping vegetables for an hour. I'm like, how is this
Yeah.
10 minutes? What are you
Wait
talking
a
about?
minute. That was a lie.
Yeah, and then here's the thing that drives Julie nuts. I'll get out like a hot pad or whatever you call it. Hot pad or what are they called? The things that you
Put hot pans on.
the thing you like grab hot pans with.
Oven mitts.
Oven glove.
No, not the
Yeah,
mitt
oven.
kind, the flat kind.
You're right.
Pads.
Yeah,
I'll get
you're
one
right.
out, use it, put it somewhere. God knows where I put it, and then I'm like, I need another hot pad. And I get another one off of where it is, where they're supposed to be, right? And then by the time I'm done, I've used all 6 of them, and I don't know where any of them are.
Yeah.
They're scattered all over the place, and I'm like, I need to put all these up, and then it takes me another 20 minutes to find them all and put them all up.
Right.
That's why usually she's tasked with cleaning things up because
Right.
I can't do it.
She can keep track of where you put all this.
stuff,
Yeah.
That's it.
No,
Follow
it's just
along behind you.
I honestly think a lot of women have this ability to find stuff
Bro, they do.
because, like, I know me and Jesse have talked about this before. Like, she'll be like, "It's right over there." I'm like, "Where?"
Yeah.
She'll be pointing right at it. I go, I don't see it. What are you talking about?" She'll say, "Under the thing, beside that thing." Oh, yeah, okay, I see it now.
Drive it home, mama, because I don't know.
It reminds me
laser
of one
pointer.
of some. I think I told you about it, Belle. Setting up the stand I made for my dish.
Mm-hmm.
I was marking out where to put the screw holes. Picked up a pen, marked them out, put the pen down so I could line it up again. Picked up the pen, marked it out. That wasn't the pen that I picked up originally. I now have 2 pens. Where did the other pen come from?
See,
And
science.
to this day, I still don't understand where I got it from.
It's Schrodinger's pin, right? Science still hasn't
Yeah.
explained.
Exactly.
Because if someone's observing you do that, they'll see where it's coming from. But if no one's observing you, then it comes from some like pocket dimension.
If I pick up a pen in the woods, does it make a sound?
Right.
If
Right.
no one's observing you, then it comes from some pocket ADHD dimension that only
Right.
you can access.
Where did this pen come from?
Science can't
I don't
explain.
get it. I don't get it.
But if there's an observer, then they see where it comes from. It's just
Or you feel better
The
about
void.
yourself. Right.
What if that's actually it? What if that's actually it? We are just pulling stuff out of the void.
Yep.
Right?
That's my current running theory. There's a ADHD pocket dimension that we each have access to our own little portion of.
We all share it.
Stuff just falls out.
Yeah. Like that's not even. I don't even own that word.
Right? I've never seen that pin before. Where did that come from?
It was your. It was a different ADHD pocket dimension that accidentally crossed over into yours.
Right? But like, you know what's crazy, Lyric? I had a pen that I'd never seen before, and it had fish and chips wrote on it. I don't know. Was that your pen?
Fatherless person.
Yes!
That's mine.
How did you get my pen? Oh, Lord.
From Jack's Fish and Chip Shop.
Right? But like, where is that at? I've never ate there.
And don't diss Jax.
Right?
Yeah.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite place to eat. What are you talking
It's a
about?
Nando's pin. That's what it is. Nando's is a chicken's place over there. Always hear about it.
Gotcha.
You know, it wouldn't surprise me if they did do novelty souvenir pens. As absurd as that sounds.
Mhm. Chicken shape.
Chicken feet shape.
That'd be kind of
That's-
cool. I'd use that.
Chicken foot rubber toppers.
Yeah.
Right? What in the world are you doing with that?
I'm a racer.
Right? That's an eraser, bro. Don't you know what an eraser is?
And just stomp all over your page.
Right?
I didn't know you were an erasist.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like it erases racism. Get rid of it. That's what a chicken foot does. Have at it.
The ADHD brain making connections.
Yeah, it definitely does. It
To
always
be-
does.
To be fair,
It always does.
fried chicken does kind of bring people together.
It does. It's the best thing ever made. Especially deep fried.
Hmm.
when it's in like a vat of grease, not just like in a little shallow pan.
Nah, it
Right
needs to
on
go
top.
all the way down into that
Right.
grease.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I feel like it's another one of those things where, like, the jankier the place, the better the chicken is. I was talking about that
Right.
with someone else. Like, if you go into a Chinese place and the lettering is all faded and there's a kid working behind the counter, you
Right.
know you're about to get the good stuff.
Right.
If they've
right.
only just made their health inspection grade.
Yeah.
Right.
71.
89.5
Yeah.
for a low B.
Yeah.
1/10 of a point lower and they'd be closed.
Yeah.
You're in for one of two things: a great
Yeah.
meal or a terrible time on the toilet.
Full
Exactly.
cleansing.
Right.
Or both. We don't discriminate here.
You could be getting both.
I've had both.
Right?
Worth it.
Like, gosh, that was so good. An hour later, oh my God, what's wrong with my stomach?
Worth it.
I'm dying.
I'm dying, but I'll go again next week.
I'll be back.
Come for the chicken, stay for the food poisoning.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
I think when Lyric came to visit, we went to this chicken place. It was in Greensboro. It was actually really good. It was,
Oh, I still have the sticker for that. One
Yeah.
second.
I can't remember what it was called. It was so good, but it wasn't.
I think he's going to find it.
Yeah, but it wasn't like what I'm describing. But it made me think of it. It was very low key, kind of like chill place. And we were, what was it? We were going to see Fluffy, the comedian.
Gabriel Iglesias.
Yeah.
And it was Slappy's
Yeah.
Chicken,
Slappy's.
WSNC.
Probably Winston-Salem.
Yeah, it was Winston-Salem. That's right.
And my sticker's slightly messed up because it went through the washing in my back pocket.
That's a good place for it.
Surprising it actually survived.
It stayed together.
Yeah.
And it's a little chicken skeleton on a skateboard.
Speaking of stickers, you can buy Team Autismo stickers today on our website.
Yes. Newly minted Team Autismo stickers.
That was totally planned.
Yeah. Completely. And they're freaking awesome.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
people
it-
say we're disorganized.
Right. Shameless plug.
I'm organized where it matters.
That's it. You got up this morning, right?
And
Right.
define morning.
Right.
Yeah. It's morning somewhere.
It is.
No, over in Lyric's neck of the woods, it's morning when I wake up.
Right?
Wait, would that be super early? That would be way too early, actually.
I was gonna say it's if it was morning here when you woke up.
It would be like midnight here.
It depends on what time you're waking up. It's like if you're waking up at 7, it'd be 2 in the morning.
Oh, true.
Or sorry, no. For you to wake up in the no, you couldn't because I'm ahead of you.
I know.
Right.
That's why I'm bad with time. ADHD,
That's it.
right? Time.
Yeah. So for you to wake up in the morning, you would have to wake up at 2 a.m.
Yep.
Right.
Because then it would be 7 your time.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in other words, when we go to sleep, you're getting up, or you're 7 on this morning there, ish.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on how I'm feeling, I'm just going to bed as well.
No, that's right.
Well, most days lately you haven't been going to bed at all.
Hey, yeah.
How's the meds doing, by the way? I can cut this part out if you want me to, but like,
Nah, it's fine. It's a part of the lived experience, isn't it?
yeah,
They're doing an absolute number on me.
I know. I remember you saying the other day it was pretty terrible. Any improvement
So
whatsoever, or?
So it's inconsistent, and that's what's really bugging me. Because I wouldn't mind. The way I look at it is, I wouldn't mind if I felt
Spooky.
for the entire time, but I feel fine. I feel
Spooky.
fine. I feel.
Spooky.
Yeah, you can kind of
It
get
just
used to
won't
it.
make its mind up.
Yeah, you can't get used to it because it's just constantly in. Ugh.
And so it's currently quite cold out because for some reason in England, even though the peak winter is January, it's always coldest in February. Always. No idea why.
Yeah, we had a sudden cold snap here too.
Yeah, it's quite cold here at the moment. So wore a jacket when I went outside. But one of the side effects is hot flushes. So I'm wearing this jacket and I'm cold, but I'm hot.
Right.
So I've got to take the jacket off just enough where I can get some airflow, but not so much where I start freezing.
I had that problem when I had low T issues. The same kind of thing would happen, just sudden hot flashes. My last checkup, that seems to be mostly resolved, so that's good. I haven't had any hot flashes in a while, so
Nice.
at least two of us can actually identify with what hot flashes are like. So
You're right. Yeah, I don't. I'm fat, so I probably have hot flashes, but I don't think that's
it's a different. It's a different.
Yeah.
That's an insulation issue, not a hormone
Yeah.
issue.
Yeah, that's over insulated. Yeah, not under regulated, over regulated, whichever way it is.
I have noticed since I've lost 100 pounds, and I still have 100 more to go. Don't get me wrong, but since I lost 100, like the insulation isn't there anymore, and I get cold way easier.
Right.
Like
Right.
like this time of year, I'd sleep with a sheet on, even though it's 30 degrees outside, which is like
Right.
around freezing.
For sure.
But now I've got a sheet, I've got a blanket, I've got a comforter.
Cover up.
Yep.
I've always had the problem where I start off cold very easily, but I heat up so fast.
Mm-hmm.
So last year, well, sorry, the year before, going to work during winter, it's like -5 in the morning. So bloody freezing. By the time I actually get to work, I leave with 2 jackets on. By the time I've got there, I've taken both of them off and I'm sweating.
Well, you have a long walk too, aren't you?
It's not that long. It's about 2.5 miles.
Oh.
Actually, it's shorter now that I've moved closer, but it's
Makes
still
sense.
about 2 miles.
That's not too bad of a walk, honestly. I mean, it'd be a lot for me, but I'm fat.
You didn't hear that
Especially if it's
motorcycle in the
raining.
background, did you?
I heard
Yeah, just a little
something.
bit.
I heard something, but it's not a big deal. It's raw, and
It adds flavor.
yeah.
Raw! It's raw!
I was gonna say
heck was
raw and
that?
uncensored, but that's only for subscribers on Subscribestar.
Right.
Plug.
Hey!
Buy Subscribestar today. Thank you.
Buy our
God bless.
shirts.
Yeah,
Yeah. Just buy the shirt.
Stop talking.
we have
Buy the shirt and nobody gets hurt.
Right.
we have quite a few designs, and I'm coming up with new ones all the time. And we've got hats.
Yeah, the bag's the deal though.
Yeah, that's not out yet. So
It's not. Oh my gosh.
yeah,
Hint, product hint.
Spoilers.
Product hint. Product
Spoiler.
hint.
spoiler. We got some bags. They're pretty dope.
They are pretty fatty,
Um,
especially with the Team Autismo sticker pocket.
Yep.
Just saying.
pocket designed just for the clearance stickers.
Just for the stickers.
Only for stickers. If you use them for anything else, you void the warranty.
Yep.
Right.
And
Warranty sold separately.
And we'll
If you
know.
take the back end off of it, you void the warranty.
And we'll know. We'll know you voided.
Right.
We'll know. Trust me, we'll know.
It has to do with that little HEHT pocket void we were talking about earlier. It's kind of
Right.
linked into that. We kind of.
Right. It'll pull it out of
I shouldn't say anymore. I shouldn't say
We're
anymore.
actually putting the stickers in the void just so people can pick them out.
just so people can get them.
I can't say anymore, or else I'll be divulging some secrets that'll get me killed to keep me quiet.
Right. Exactly.
The Council of Tism will have a go at us.
Get chastised. Our Patty slapped. Oh no.
I did post
Good
on
gracious.
I commented on someone's post one day, and I honestly think this is a good idea. Is instead of like doctors doing diagnostics for autism, we should have like a panel of 10-year-olds,
Oh yeah.
because they can detect it at a much higher rate than
Oh yeah.
doctors can.
Oh yeah.
It's-
Who shall we bully?
It's almost like It's almost like they're drawn to it.
Mhm.
Kind of crazy.
but like
Oh,
almost
crazy.
repelled, kind of like you're weird.
Yeah.
I haven't even said anything yet.
Right.
You're weird.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Why are you not looking at me?
Right.
Oh, yeah, we lost Lyric. And now a word from our sponsor, Team Autismo. What's wrong, buddy?
I don't know. I'm just not feeling very autistic today. Thinking of selling the hardware, going on Tinder, and maybe looking for a girlfriend or something. You know.
That's pretty concerning. Maybe hold off on doing anything drastic until we can talk to a doctor or something. Lyrics line.
Oh, sorry, was I supposed to say something?
Did you not get the script?
I didn't know there was a script. Something about a bag of shirts?
Yeah, you did
Oh,
see it
boy.
then.
Oh, I didn't know that was a script. I thought you were just posting suggestions. Hey guys, what's with this bag of shirts out here?
Mm. Bring it on in. We'll try them on. This is totally a normal thing people do.
I mean, at charity places, yeah.
Yeah,
I guess we are kind of a charity case.
true. Well, hey, this hat actually fits my giant head.
This shirt's pretty soft.
Hey guys, I'm starting to feel autistic again.
I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not.
I think I'm gonna go grind in Pokemon for 12 hours straight while watching videos about 80s Russian aviation.
Well, you've ruined it now. You've mentioned Pokemon. Nintendo's going to copyright this.
No, we can't. It's okay.
We can use it.
No, I
Center
I
bottle.
screwed up. I mentioned Russia. I didn't want to be topical. Who cares? Yeah.
Topical like this Autismo brand ointment.
We not actually for sale.
We don't sell that yet.
Yeah.
But we sell shirts. Dude, what the fuck kind of adverts is this?
Check out our store today at teamautismo.com.
That was great.
We're the best at adverts.
Thank you for supporting our sponsor. Now back to the show.
And action.
Action. What were we talking about?
Something and or other. Oh yes, we were talking about how better to identify people with
Yes, the
Neurodiversities.
kids. Yes,
The
yes, yes,
Children's
Yes.
Council.
yes.
Like, I generally think that should be part of the diagnostic process. I know it's kind of a memey joke, but at the same time, like, I think it would help the false negatives and false positives rate.
Joking aside, people who are on the spectrum have a better time identifying people on the spectrum.
Right.
For sure.
Well, I mean, you see the similarities, especially people with ADHD. They pick up on patterns very easily.
Yep.
So if you see that same pattern from you in somebody else, I mean, honestly, I think that's one of the reasons, Mike. I think that's one of the reasons you and I connected so easily.
Mhm.
Like in the beginning of our friendship was for that very reason.
Yeah, so and I think a lot of times, I was talking about this earlier today. Jesse, you know Heather at the Country Girl, our favorite,
Yeah.
my favorite restaurant
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah.
She, me and Julie went there one day, and Julie went to the bathroom, and on her way back, Heather stopped her, and she was like, "Is he autistic?" Like being all quiet because she didn't know if
Right.
we knew.
Right.
And Julie's like, yeah, come talk about it. He's open
Right.
about it, you know.
Right.
And most people can't pick me out like that.
Right. Yeah.
And it's because she was pursuing a diagnosis for
For
a
her
kid.
son.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
And so she knew what to look for. And that's the problem.
The telltale signs.
That's the
Yeah.
problem with high masking folks, including high masking ADHD folks, is that, you know, you don't know what to look for unless you've experienced it either personally or through a
Right.
loved one or someone
Right.
like really close.
Well, I mean, if you were to meet me and talk to me for 5 or 10 minutes, you probably wouldn't know that I had ADHD.
Until the fire hose turns on.
Right. And then I just like spray you into oblivion with information, random information and conversation. I mean, you don't know how hard it is right now for me not to
Oh yeah,
just keep
I know.
talking. I mean, Michael, you know
Normally
me,
you have
but-
to pay extra to get sprayed into oblivion.
Right. Yeah, that's not in the free. That's not in the free code, right?
Program. That's on our subscribe
Right.
star.
That's on the subscribe star.
Not really.
Subscribe today.
Though. Not really though.
Yeah, it's and that's the thing though. It's like when but again, is you're taking. Let's see, you're taking advantage of the sensory like perception that you have,
Mhm.
and it allows you to be able to see those commonalities between you and someone else.
Mhm.
So it's just kind of like an interconnection thing too. I think, not get into preaching, but I think that's part of like our connection with each other is as a group is having, those same commonalities that we can identify with in each other. And it's like a bond that, I mean, just like no different than sports and stuff like that. I mean, what do you think sports teams do? They bond because they all like that sport.
Yep.
It's no difference than having, ADHD, autism, having those things, and it makes you interconnect with people.
It's funny because you can start spotting people across the room sometimes
Oh, yeah.
too. Like I'll see
Oh, yeah,
someone
it's-
walk in with some headphones on, like,
Right. Yeah.
Then I'll watch his
exactly.
mannerisms a little bit. I'm like,
Right. Right. You see them stimming, you see them doing
Yeah.
different things like that. Yeah, it really starts to stick out.
That guy's got a touch of the tism, I think.
Some kind of tism.
Let's see what happens if I make sudden noises. Does he freak out? Oh yeah, he
Right.
does. Okay, that's all.
Clap twice. Yep, he's tistic.
Okay, first off, sorry, but also found you.
Yeah.
Don't try to hide in plain sight anymore, you loser. We gotta stick together.
But it is funny. Like my mom recently got me in touch with apparently the guy that does their landscaping or something. His son, she suspects, is autistic, and she had me like text with him for a little bit. And just from the way he texted, I was like, yeah, this guy's autistic.
Yeah, no doubt.
90% sure, diagnostic on the spot. Like I'll have to meet him to be 100% sure, but yeah, just the way he texts, it's like extremely formal. Yeah, that's it.
Excuse me, sir.
I have some.
Terribly sorry to interrupt.
Period. Exclamation point, comma.
See, that's why we have the British guy on the show.
Right?
I say, old bean, how the devil are you today?
What'd you say? Crikey. Wait a minute,
Crikey.
that's Australian. Crap.
Struth, mate.
Right? Wait a minute. What the heck?
So, guys,
So what would you guys say as autistic and probably ADHD combinations? What would you say like your biggest like struggle to overcome is as just focusing, you're talking about ADHD, just focusing on that aspect. What do you think has been your biggest struggle? Because neither one of you are medicated for ADHD, correct?
I am not, no.
I'm not.
Yeah, I'm not either. So what would you say is your biggest like hurdle to overcome with the ADHD? Not on top of everything else, but like because they kind of run separate, but what would you say would be your biggest hurdles?
Well, can I just say first, leave it to the guest to bring us back on topic.
Right?
Yeah. Good job.
Circle back. Let's circle back. to
Good
that.
job, buddy.
Let's circle back to that.
So for me, it's a combination. It's the hardest part because the autism requires me to stay on task, one task at a time, hyper focus.
Right.
And yet the ADHD is constantly trying to pull me away from that hyper
The
focus.
exact opposite.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's, I think I was describing it earlier as a goblin in my brain, constantly jumping up and down, trying to get my attention.
Right.
And I was explaining, and I was speaking to people that knew exactly what I was talking about. Some folks in my Lind thing, and I said, I listen to podcasts or shows or radio or music or something while I'm working on tasks because it distracts that little goblin in my mind that would normally distract me.
And it works.
Yeah. But
Goblin doesn't, but
Yeah,
The goblin
he
doesn't-
doesn't do a thing.
he just sits around and plays with the balls all day.
Right. Plays with his balls
Yeah.
or yours? Which one was that?
I mean, he tries.
Yeah. Like, that's a different episode, people. Log in.
that's a whole different goblin.
Log in to our full unedited podcast for that. You know.
Log in for ball goblins.
Matter of fact, if you buy 10 stickers, we'll send you one of them rascals.
You open the box and he just latches on your
Warning,
ball.
Team Autismo is not liable for what ball goblins do once purchased.
Yeah, it's your purchase, is your
You
problem.
tear open the box, it just jumps out, latches on your balls.
Right, but then you get to play with the stickers. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's a win-win.
Yeah.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Slap.
What about you, Lyric? What do you think's your biggest? What do you think's your biggest struggle with just the ADHD side?
Yeah, I'd say it's a pretty similar thing. It's, for the most part, if I'm trying to do something that I need to actively think about,
Right.
it's keeping my mind focused on that thing long enough to think about it long enough to do something about
Especially if it's not like a high dopamine task. Right.
Yeah, the mundane stuff.
So, as Mike might be able to infer to, I'm rather creatively inclined. The problem is actually trying to get going long enough to put that to work. See,
Right.
Have you started
I've
drawing
got
again
in-
since your wrists healed up?
nope. But that's another thing. Like, last year around this time, I broke my wrist,
Mhm.
as you can attest, Jesse, as you saw it.
Right.
I was restarting my drawing when that happened, and I
Right.
was getting pretty back into the swing of it. Broke my wrist, obviously, can't hold the pencil long enough.
Right.
And since then, because it just simply didn't occur regularly, I haven't done it. And I probably should.
Right.
But it's sitting down and having that focus long enough to actually draw something. So even when I was doing it on a regular basis, something that should only be about a 5-minute, 10-minute sketch could take me up to half an hour simply because I'll sit there and I'll look at it and say, I know what I need to do,
Right.
I know what I want to do,
Right.
but I can't do it.
Mhm. Just the task initiation part.
Would you say that's the executive function thing?
Yes,
That's
definitely
exactly what that is, yeah. I have a lot of struggles with the executive function. I would say that's probably my biggest struggle overall with all the different things I got.
Right.
Especially now that I'm trying to run a household by myself. It's because the task switching, especially because I'll be in the middle of something and she'll be like, I need water. I'm like, I'm doing a thing. Don't
Right.
interrupt. No. Where's my concentration going? No. It's all gone.
It's also a weird thing. Do either of you have a thing where you can multitask, but only when you're not thinking about it?
Yes. 100%.
If I have to actively think that I'm multitasking, I can't do it.
I freeze up.
Yeah.
If I can multitask on like high dopamine activities,
Right.
so like, let me think. Like anything on the computer, especially, I can multitask real easy. But to me, that's not multitasking. It's all I'm working on one thing, even though I am going to ChatGPT to help me reorganize my thoughts, and then I'm going to this
Well,
other
it's
reference.
just an
thing.
extension of what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm going to this other reference, I'm going to this other window, and then I'm opening a Word document, and I'm messing with the PowerPoint. I'm doing all these things back to back to back to back to back. But in my mind, it's almost like one task because I'm
Right.
here. Whereas, like when I'm cooking, I'm physically moving all around the kitchen, and then I lose track of what I'm doing.
Especially say it's like when you hyperfixate on the individual points, yes, it's multitasking, but when
Right.
you zoom out,
Right.
when you take in the bigger picture, it is one singular thing. It's just the components of it.
It's kind of like having your browser open and having, multiple windows open.
Like 100
And,
tabs.
and you don't realize that you're doing that as a multitask. You know what I'm saying? Like you're doing 6 or 8 things at one time. But if you were to try to do like take the web browser out of it and you try to do that in real life, I tend to find myself seizing up and feeling overwhelmed by just the thought of doing that.
Yep.
But if I'm not thinking about it, I'll run right through it with no problem whatsoever. From that perspective.
And that's kind of like
I think
what distracting that little goblin's all about.
Right.
I think the point we're getting at here is thinking is the problem.
Yes.
Right. Because I mean, if you really want to be honest about it, I mean that's the biggest stumbling block for the whole thing is over processing, overthinking things.
Mm-hmm.
And what does it end up doing? It ends up running you out of the road and into a place of insecurity. You know, if you really boil it right down, is just being I can't do that because, and then we give ourselves an excuse versus, you know, why are most ADHD people so creative and stuff like that? Is because they have the mind capacity to be able to do all of these things, see things from different perspectives, see things from different angles, understand things, you know, all these different, you know, superpowers that we have. But what is our biggest stumbling block is ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can't do that. I can't handle that. I can't figure that out. Well, I mean, you do it when you're not paying attention to it. Why do you think I personally thrive off of pressure? That's why I procrastinate.
Mm-hmm.
I see myself excel when I procrastinate. So what do? I procrastinate more.
Yeah, I usually try to set like a date. Like this is my self
like a deadline,
limit.
right?
Yeah,
right.
There's no actual deadline, but I'm putting it on myself to make it happen. And I think I need to do that with other projects too. But
because if we don't, man, think about it. I mean, if you don't, you can just continue to push and push and push.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you don't. Okay, so the podcast. I mean, think about that. We were joking about that before, but think about it from that same perspective. Is to say, okay, look, we want to do a podcast a quarter, and we want to have this out by this time. So that's what we're going to do. Is we're going to set a deadline for it to be out, and then we'll all be like, you guys will all be super, you know, excited and jumping to do it because it's a last minute thing instead of, we'll just do it when we do it.
Quarterly would be 4 times more often.
Right. And that's what I'm saying, to start there and then build it up from there. Okay, hey, we did it in a quarter. This year we did it quarterly. Next year we'll do it monthly or bi-monthly or something from that perspective.
Yeah.
But to prove your point, Jesse, the immediate thing I started thinking when you said that was my brain immediately went to all the reasons why we haven't been able to do it.
Right.
I immediately started making excuses in my head.
Right. Because we convince ourselves that it's not something that we can overcome.
Yep.
And that's one of the things that, you know, I'll say for myself. It was hard for me. So I'm retired at a young age from what I did as a career. And I've started a nonprofit and several businesses since then. And that's one of the things that I've had to do personally is figure out how to be ADHD and a successful business owner. Because like Mike and I joke all the time is, hey, I have these ideas, all these grandiose ideas that I can sit and rest on and say, oh, well, I was creative here or I did something here. But if I'm not willing to do any of those things, at the end of the day, none of them are productive.
Pointless.
Yeah, none of them are productive.
Yeah. Whereas I'll just sit in my head all day and think of all this cool stuff. I'm like, oh, that's something I could do. And then I either never write it down or never actually do it. Or
right.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, it's learning, and that I think that's a blessing for you guys. You know, me getting to know you guys, especially Mike. You know, you over the last 2 years has been a huge blessing for me specifically, because I see like some of the functioning stemming things that you've taught me, some of that stuff, you know, to help with the pressure of PTSD and anxiety. You know, it's been those kind of things that have kind of, you know, I've been able to use and take a step back and go, hey, this is helpful. What can I do here to help me to refocus on these things? What can I help myself to do to get past, you know, the struggle with X, Y, or Z to be able to be, you know, successful in whatever I do? Because I mean, honestly, it's easy to sit back and say I can't do something because of X, Y, or Z.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, because honestly, I hate to say regular people, but because they're not normal, but regular people, I mean, the regular people struggle with the same thing. It's
Yep.
self-doubt, that same mindset.
But then it's that's what I said. I think episode 1, I even mentioned this about autism. Is it's a disability by its extremes, right? So like, that's why I always get a little bit frustrated when people are like, oh, everyone is a little autistic. No, it's the other way around. Autistic people are people as well. We struggle with the same things other people do.
Autistic people are a little bit normal.
Yeah. We're a little more normal than what most people are.
I mean, yeah, it's just our ability to cope has been lessened by whatever mechanism you choose to see as.
Right.
So,
I mean,
The
again,
circumstance of our existence.
right. I mean, it's some kind of brain function that doesn't push or circulate to the right section, or the wiring got cross-wired, or something's not. It's either functioning correctly. We're the normal people, or it's not functioning correctly.
Yeah. I saw it. I actually saw recently that studies have shown the autistic brain has way more synapses and neurons than the standard typical brain.
Right.
Because it's not during while growing up till like your early 20s, you're supposed to have like these synapse
Pruning.
happening.
Right.
And it's like the autistic brain has like a third as much pruning happening as it's meant to. So
I think the one you're talking about, it said it was 15%
versus
of what the pruning should be.
Yeah, so it's like, and when I read that, I was like, well, so much makes sense now. It's why when you ask an open-ended question, my head explodes.
Right.
Because I think of every possibility.
And then walk through every possibility.
Yep. And I'm sitting there in my head going, if that, then what? But if I did, then that.
Right.
Instead of typical developing brain that's had everything pruned off, just kind of follows the pathway and gets to it.
Right. I think that's a completely like great way to look at stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Is to think about it from that perspective. Is like our minds during a super huge phase of life did not, didn't shut off like the processing section.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's ADHD. That's a lot of different, mental situations, for lack of better words, that why we think about things a certain way, or why we do things a certain way, is because of the, I mean, again, what I retired from, ADHD was actually a huge benefit, because it helped me to pattern. It helped me to, make quick decisions, do things like that. And then, again, looking back at it now, it's like, how in the world did you make those decisions then, and now you can't decide? Yeah, that's what it is I live my life in a pressure cooker.
Yeah, and you can say what you did too. I'm going to ask you to plug your stuff later too. So just
it's just I retired cop, retired law enforcement. Was a cop for 18 years, and just retired. And again, being in that industry and seeing how my life was so much different then than it is now, is like, that's why we force ourselves into those situations, is because we, ADHD, speaking for myself, that I thrived in that environment, and I don't in a plan out, kind of, hash all this stuff out. My wife picks on me all the time because, she says, you could make life-saving decisions, but you can't figure out what we're going to eat for dinner. and that's having God's honest truth.
You're having more of a panic attack planning out meal than you are when you're literally getting shot at.
100%. 100%.
Well, the stakes aren't as high when you're choosing what's for dinner.
You're exactly
Incidentally,
right.
dinner is steak.
Yeah, that's it. And I mean, and that's the truth. It's like going out now is, I forced myself over the last year to do things that I had gotten accustomed to not doing, and being out in public and being around large crowds of people, with my PTSD, is that's part of that. And actually, I went and bought season tickets to the Carolina Hurricanes hockey team just to force myself to be around 20,000 people 2 or 3 times a week.
That's like what do they call it? Immersion therapy.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Yep.
Because now I've become comfortable with that again, you know, and it's not. I'm not having to figure out, oh my God, how am I going to live through this?
Mhm.
You know, it's okay. I've done this before. It's not that big of a deal.
See, my problem is now I've been stuck at home for like a month or
Yes.
two now, so I'm gonna have to
Yes.
readjust.
Yes.
Getting-
And it is an adjustment. I mean, that's just like when we closed down my nonprofit that you volunteer with. When we closed down for Christmas, I always go through that same cycle.
Mhm.
And this is my nonprofit. And I go through that same cycle for the 2 weeks we're closed for Christmas. I have to reprogram myself to, it's okay to leave the house to go do this.
Mhm.
The world's not going to end if you're not home.
Okay, but what if it does?
I know, right? It would be perfect, though. I mean, you know, just being. I mean, I have no other answer for that. But that's what my mind keeps saying, and that's the other thing about the internal monologue of the ADHD brain. And see, it's so funny, is because I never realized until I was in my late 30s that internal monologue is not something everybody else had.
Mhm. Yeah, that
Because
freaked me out.
I wasn't diagnosed as a kid with ADHD. I'm in my mid 40s, and it wasn't something back then. It wasn't something that was even diagnosed. Autism, ADHD, none of that stuff was diagnosed
Mhm.
back then. As my teachers on all my report cards said I was a busybody. So that was their diagnosis then, was I was a busybody.
Hmm.
I like to talk. I need to be separated from my friends when I was talking, but it was not my friends. It was just, I talked to anything and anybody to get my mind off of what we were doing.
Make sure the brick wall next to him is not too interesting, or he will start talking to it.
Yes.
Do not draw a face on the wall.
Yes, exactly. And talk to that face.
Hey, wall face, how you doing? Well, I've been doing
Right.
great. And
What did you have for lunch?
It's
It was
not
great.
wall face, it's Walter.
Right, Walter.
Yeah.
But again, it's just that concept, man. And the cool thing about this is having the opportunity for folks to hear that, you know, maybe they don't realize that it's not, they don't have to be different.
Yeah.
That, you know, we are all different, but at the same time, they don't have to feel like, oh, I'm the only one that's dealing with this. I'm the only one that's struggling with
And
it.
that's part of why I started this, is
Right.
to get more people seeing the stuff. And when I started this, there wasn't as much people on social media talking about this, and so
Right.
I jumped in early, but then got started late.
For sure. I mean,
Got distracted.
how else would it be? Would you expect anything any different?
No, and if it was any different, it wouldn't be me.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the phrase, but then I got distracted, is basically the epitome of the autistic
You can put it on
experience.
your shirt, but then I got
Right.
distracted.
But then, I had good intentions, but then.
But no follow through.
Right. But I mean, again, that's so my wife and I are both small business owners, and we joke a lot about that. It's because if small businesses or starting your own business was easy, everybody would do it.
For sure, because
And
the overhead
Go
is so
ahead.
much lower, and
right,
like there's so many benefits to owning your own
Right.
business and working for your
right, but you get to be your own boss.
Yeah.
So I mean, how much better can life be than that?
Yep.
But at the same time, as it goes right back to the mindset of trying to grow and do things under a schedule. Because
Mhm.
again, if you don't have some kind of schedule, then, well, I haven't done anything in my business in 6 days because my executive functioning's crapped out on me. You know,
There's it's sort of a double-edged sword in that
Yes,
regard, because
yes.
yes, you're your own boss, so
Yes.
you don't have anyone to tell you what to do, basically.
Right.
Supposed to get in your way, but at the same time, you don't have anyone to tell you what to do.
Right, exactly. And that's the problem, is thinking about it from that perspective. It's like, man, what the crap? You know, what am I going to do? So what do I do? Is the thing that helps me to stay focused is setting schedules.
Mhm.
Is, hey, this week was a crappy week, but I still got X, Y, and Z done. You know, next week, if something comes up next week, I still need to have something that says, hey, I hit these goals because I had to set these goals, because I know if I didn't, my executive function messes up, and then here again, I haven't done anything in my business for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I've actually had Lyric message me sometimes and be like, tell me to do the thing I need to do. I'm like, okay,
Right.
do the thing. And
Right.
then he can do it because he has external pressure to
For sure.
want to do it.
Hey,
As
Lyric,
dumb
I'm
as it
putting
sounds, that's
pressure on you
literally
now.
what it takes.
You need to start drawing again.
Yeah.
So your wrist is healed. So we need.
Stop harassing me.
Right. Wait a minute. What happened here? What happened?
I became a bitch.
But like, quit bullying me, you jerk. Right.
Now the demand avoidance kicks in.
Right. Seeing that, but again, that's that double-edged sword thing. It's like, ADHD likes to have structure, but hates structure. Likes to be told be told what to do, but hates being told what to do.
It's not being told what to do necessarily. It's how you're being told.
Yeah, right.
I'm having trouble at work at the moment because one of the supervisors, he doesn't ask you to do something. He demands you do something.
Yeah, nobody likes that.
And that gets my heckles up.
Right. Nobody likes that.
So, okay. No. You don't demand I do something.
Right.
You ask
No,
me
I'm
to do
going to
something.
not do it out of spite.
Right. Which is going to make it worse because now I'm doing it because I'm pissy.
Yeah.
And it's just a case of this could have been avoided if you just phrased things more diplomatically.
Right.
I got to get up for a second. Hang on. Oi.
He'll be back soon,
Gotcha.
presumably. I think.
So would you say in that case, would it not be a growth for businesses and business owners and supervisors to have some kind of structure on dealing with people of all walks of life?
Oh, definitely. I think the biggest issue with it is it's very obvious that none of the management at my job have any kind of training to deal with someone with my condition.
Right.
Which is surprising given how many people with ADHD and autism they actually have working for them.
Right.
I mean, they have about 40 to 60 people working per shift.
Right.
And I at least know in my shift pattern, there's about 5 or 6 other people with neurodivergence.
Wow.
Yeah. And you would think with that many people in a shift rotation with that condition, they would have some training put in place to actually learn
Right.
how to properly handle it.
Right.
And it's not the first time that my autism, my ADHD issues have come to a head and caused issues.
For sure.
So you would think purely just based on that fact, they would look into seeing, well, how can we resolve this without escalating it?
Right.
And I try not to escalate things beyond
sure.
where they need to be.
For sure. But sometimes you can't help it. I mean, especially when they're fighting each other, you're fighting your two, you're fighting ADHD and fighting the autism, like you said before. Yeah. You're fighting that kind of stuff, and then now you get
super frustrated
when somebody speaks to you in a certain manner, and then you freeze up at the same time. It's like, oh God, I don't know how to handle this or what to do.
Yeah, and it's the dichotomy of, by contract, I am obligated to do what you're telling me.
Right.
But how you're telling me to do it is
Right.
making me not want to do it.
Right.
So now I am frozen within in this juxtaposition of,
Right.
I have to do this, and I don't want to do this.
100%. And I mean, that boils down to being just the struggle of, for 90% of the stuff that we face is, would you say you struggle going to work sometimes because of executive function?
I am actually off sick from work at the moment
Right.
due to issues like that.
Right. And see, that's the same thought process is what in our life framing can we change to help us say, again, with that whole accountability mindset, like you were saying, Mike said that sometimes you call him and say, hey, or text him and say, hey, tell me to do X, Y, or Z, because I know that you have my best intentions at heart, but at the same time is you understand why I'm struggling with this.
It's as simple as that.
Right. But again, it's having that having something developed for, you know, jobs, employers to have that same mentality. You know what I mean? To say, hey, we understand that you struggle in X, Y, and Z areas. You know, we're going to put these things in place to help you out with that. Which is the guy or your supervisor not talking to you in a certain manner, you know, because we know that you struggle with X, Y, and Z.
Yeah. I believe Mike's pointed out in the past, I'm not sure if it was on an episode or not, but it's been shown in studies that policies put in place to help people with neurodivergence tend to be globally beneficial to the workforce.
100%.
You guys talking trash about me?
No.
Only a little bit.
I don't believe you.
Just a little bit. You'll get to hear it in a recording later.
I know. Yeah. No, every time Dan gets up, we make fun of him, and then every time Lyric gets up, me and Dan make fun of him. So it's kind of a tradition. I really like my job now. It's kind of tailor made for me in a way. So.
Right, but I mean, at the same time as you work with people. I mean, you're a peer support for what?
Basically, any type of IDD, intellectual developmental disability.
Exactly. So again, of course, they're gonna be prepared to deal with you because they have that kind of preparation. But 99% of businesses don't have that same preparation.
Yeah, and they know how to give me grace, and I know how to give my peers grace too, because they don't have the same type of disability I do, but I know that I struggle with things too.
Right.
So it'd be really stupid for me to get mad at their struggles because, you know, I get what it's like, and that's one of the things I try to get across when I'm teaching and stuff is, you know, because it's Lind. I talked about it during the last episode. I can't even remember if I even mentioned that I'm working for them now. It's neurotypical people, and it's also neurodivergent people. So I try to get across to neurotypical people, like, y'all struggle with stuff too.
Right.
It just looks different.
Right.
And that's why we need to learn to give grace more, because everybody struggles with something, and everybody's struggles looks different. But
at the same time, you're working with neurotypicals that are in the field who understand how to deal with
neurodivergence. Exactly. And I think that's the difference. I think that's the biggest stumbling block is most companies don't, I'm not going to say they don't want to believe neurodivergency exists, but they might believe it exists, but they do nothing about it. I mean, look at the school systems. I mean, the school systems, no matter how diagnosis and stuff like that have changed in the last 25 years, they're still not teaching on a level for everybody in the neurodivergent function. So I mean, it's like, I'm not saying they have to, you know, handhold people, but at the same time, it's understanding that you can't sit and talk to an ADHD kid and not let him touch something or not let him do something for 2 hours and then still expect him to learn.
Thankfully, there are some. It's very, very slow, but in some areas that is improving. There's this idea going around now, universal design, which is something I'm trying to learn more about when I'm creating my teaching aids. Is making it accessible to anybody that is able to, you know, see it, I guess.
For sure.
So, like, you know, designing things in such a way that it is very clear and concise,
right?
And also for, like,
as universal as possible,
and also for like visual impairments, to try to make it as much contrast as possible. Like in my PowerPoints, I try to do a very light background with a very dark text, or vice versa.
Right.
Whereas with people with like really good eyesight can probably read some text that's not extremely high contrast, but if your eyesight isn't good, then you
feel attacked.
You need some very high contrast. But yeah, it's been neat seeing being in the middle of disability advocacy and seeing the progress that's being made. I think we're still light years away from where we ideally would be as a society, but
I mean, you know what they say, progress, not perfection.
Yeah, I mean, we're never going to reach perfection, but
Right. And again, that's the key to it, is just looking for and seeing progress. But again, here we are, we're doing things for children in schools, but we're not doing anything for adults in business.
yes, sir, you're touching on the same reason I made this podcast.
Right. But see, that's the thought process behind it, is finding, local advocacy and building on local advocacy to say, hey, look, we've already broached this subject in school, kinda. Let's not forget about these adults that are struggling with this same stuff. They don't need a special needs, hand holder to come to their job. They just need you to understand, hey, you can't speak to this person that way, or you can't do this a certain way. Hey, all you've got to do is follow these ABCs of this, and this person will be the best employee you've ever had.
And it's not necessarily even you can't do this, but it's like, if you do it, it will not be efficient. Whereas if you take this other route, it'll be way more efficient and more things will get
100%.
done.
100%.
And yeah, we're making slow progress on that kind of stuff, but
Right.
I get upset about that kind of stuff in class too, because I was on a panel this most recent semester, and we opened up questions to the class, and like all the questions were like what school was like for me and what things were like when I was a kid. And I was starting to get kind of frustrated because like I don't really remember my childhood that much.
Right.
So I'll answer the best I can, but like I don't think I even went on my little rant about it. I want to go on a rant about it sometime in class. And I'm like, look, I get that childhood, care is super duper important, and getting diagnosed early is a very good indicator of future success. But like,
Right.
autistic kids become autistic adults
Right.
more and more as
Right.
our understanding gets better, and as medicine improves, as life expectancies improve, there's way more autistic adults,
Right.
and
Well, there's going to be a lot more, considering how high the rate of diagnosis has become.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, think about my generation.
Even
that
accounting
has
for
no,
false diagnoses.
Yes.
Right. Think about my generation that has no diagnosis. Because that's not something that they even thought about when I was in school.
I mean, even when I was in school, I was diagnosed in 94, and over here in the States, that was like the very beginning of when
Right.
autism was being diagnosed officially.
Right. And see, I graduated from high school 3 years later.
Yeah. So like, you were out of the school system before it even
Right.
started catching on over here.
Right. And I mean, I grew up in a poor county in North Carolina that still had a smoking area when I graduated high school.
Yeah.
So I mean, again, they're 20 years behind like the big places in this country having it, much less by the time it funnels down to those areas.
Yeah. And I always struggle trying to explain myself with the thing, because yes, we need to take care of kids. Kids need access to services as
Right.
well. I mean, I
Right.
think it is very crucial that early diagnosis happens and early
For sure.
intervention happens. At the
But at the same time,
time,
you can't just abandon those kids once they become adults.
Right.
And that's what happens.
yeah, and same
Right.
time, once you turn 18, it's not like you're no longer autistic or ADHD. It's just,
Right. Or you no longer need help.
yeah, you're set loose
Right.
upon the world by yourself.
Right.
And that is one
Go
cool thing.
figure this out. And it's completely, and it's funny because it's two completely different things. Is if you think about it, in school it's so structured. In school it's so structured that you kind of find a piece about it. But then outside of school, it's the exact opposite of that. It's what you structure it to be versus it's a structured system.
Yeah, I can't make my own structure. That's my problem.
Right. So it's even worse if you think about it. By the time you get, so think about it. This is what I've always thought about and compared it to, is like foster care. If you think about foster care is from birth to 18. Right? So if you think about it from the same perspective, when foster kids that haven't been adopted turn 18, they get thrown out into the world and out into the woods and out to the wolves.
You're 18, good luck, buddy.
Yes. And you think about it, so they treat neurodivergent people the exact same way.
Pretty much. Yeah,
If you think about it from that perspective, if you don't have like a family that understands.
so like I have some interesting stories from when I went from high school to first I did community college, which is a little less slightly less structured than grade
Than high
school,
right?
but not quite as unstructured as college.
Right.
So I went to community college, and that was slightly less structured. And then I went to like private university, where there was like absolutely no structure.
Right.
Oh my goodness. I lived in my own dorm on my own because my therapist at the time recommended it, and that was awesome. Dude, I had ants. I got sick because the place was so dirty.
Right.
Because I had no structure. I had no one tell me to clean up, and I had pizza boxes stacked to the ceiling.
Exactly. But what were you eating at the same time? We had discussed this before. Is your eating habits completely fell off, right? Of structured eating because there was no structure.
Yep.
But again, it's that same mentality of hey, you know, you're going to survive this, but there's nothing to help. And I think that's the cool thing about where you're at now is that seeing that's a resource for, you know, like me, I'm undiagnosed ADHD. I just know I got it. There ain't no way. I mean, there ain't no way around it, you know. But again, it's like, how do people that have been diagnosed and are on medication, you know, how do they not know that medication changes? Like you become immune to certain medications, or like you can't take what is it, the generic version of certain medications. So I mean, again, is if you don't have somebody there to help you,
I could do a whole episode on medications, dude.
Right? But that's what I'm saying is but that's the crazy thing is nobody understands that, and that's why, you know, seeing the company that you work for actually willing to help folks, you know, fight that battle and wage war against, you know, them being out in the wilderness. It's kind of cool to be able to see that too.
The more I learn about it, the more I get entrenched in it. It's pretty awesome. The only real issue is nobody knows about it.
Right.
Like it's like Heather at the Country Grill. I had to get her hooked up with like who she should talk to, because like, how would you know? You can't just call up a hotline like 1-800-AUTISM. Hey, what resources are in my area? Like it doesn't exist.
Right.
The closest thing is, you know, there's Teach, and they have I don't know if it's one person or a team. I think it's just one person that you can talk to, and I think she'll like tell you what is in the area or something. Right. But that's just one person. You know.
Lyric, how does that work over in the UK? Is it the same stigma, same kind of thing?
So it's been a while since I've been in education.
Right.
But when I was going through it, there was very minimal support.
Right.
I mean, there were certain students that got more than others, but me in particular, I was diagnosed in my first year of high school.
Okay.
And it was basically as I was starting. So my mother informed my homeroom teacher that he's in for diagnosis. We're just waiting on the callback.
Right.
About 2 weeks later, it was confirmed. To her credit, my homeroom teacher did try.
Right.
But that was the most I got.
Right.
After that, I was basically left to fend for myself. The few occasions where they did, quote unquote, try to help me, it was more to keep me out of trouble with the other kids than it was to actually help me.
Yeah.
Right.
You see that kind of stuff here too.
Right. That's what I say. That's exactly what it is here.
Yeah.
Listen, I wasn't necessarily an aggressive kid,
Right.
but I ended up in fights.
Yeah.
Right.
You're easily set off.
Yeah. And the result was that because the pool of people that I would end up getting in fights with was so varied, it was easier to keep me away from them than it was to keep them away from me.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I was in middle school, I was quite literally kept inside every break time simply because of the amount of fights I was getting in.
Goodness.
I wasn't allowed to go outside.
Right.
Everyone else, they're outside playing. Me, I'm just kept indoors because it's safer for everyone else. I'm not even the guy starting the fights.
Mhm.
Would you say that was bullying?
Oh, yeah, it was, well, it was bullying from the students that I had to, I was caught in fights with. It was also, strictly speaking, it was bullying from the faculty because rather than dealing with the problem, they simply just moved the impetus onto me.
Also,
It's your fault. It's your fault they're treating you like that.
Yeah, and that's a problem with communal schooling in general, is that there is not enough faculty to deal with individual problems, so they just kind of do this, scorched earth policy on things,
Right. But I mean, you're not the problem.
Mm-hmm.
They're the problem, but our solution is
Make you feel
stopping you from doing stuff.
Yeah, and then you internalize that you're the problem.
Yes, exactly. So again,
it was actually the problem there because it was originally my aunt who at the time worked with autistic children who first identified that I may be autistic, and that's how we got the diagnosis process going. When my mother brought it up with the headmaster of the school, he outright denied it. He refused to believe that I could be autistic. He was more willing to accept that I was just a bad kid.
Right.
Then there might be something wrong.
I had a similar issue with my my uncle, who was I don't know what he does now because we don't talk anymore. There's a lot of my family I don't talk to anymore. And he was a school psychiatrist or something at the time. And my mom was pursuing a diagnosis. She was talking to him about it, and he was like, "Don't get him diagnosed. They'll put him in a room with a bunch of headbangers." And my mom got really
super frustrated
at that, and she was like, "Well, I'm going to do it even more now."
Right.
And
you turned out to be a headbanger of a different sort.
Exactly. But
it's crazy when you think about it, though, man. It's like what we look at today is like, even today, it's still it's more accepted, but it's still a stigma of bullying, because if you don't know how to handle something, you treat the person as a victim. You know what I'm saying? But you're victimized by your mental health. I mean, I don't understand the thought process of how that fixes anything.
It's easier for them. I hate to say it.
That's what I'm saying. But again, that's the same thing as bullying. I mean, it would be just like if they came to your job tomorrow, Lyric, and said, "Hey, you guys are neurodivergent. Have you guys seen this movie? You guys are neurodivergent. Y'all need to come over here and be with this group." And then they outcast you from the group. Y'all seen that movie Divergent or whatever it is? Y'all seen that? What they did? So they had to. You know what I'm talking about?
It.
You know what I'm talking about, though? There was a book series.
It's the one where they were categorized based on personality traits, and then if you didn't fall into any of the categories, you were classed as divergent.
Right, or you fell into multiple categories. You were cast as divergent, and then they would actually take them out and kill them, and then the divergents band together and fought back against it.
So you're saying Autism Army?
Yeah,
that's what I'm hearing.
But I mean, again,
that's what I'm hearing.
It's that same mentality, though. If you think about it, is how did they treat neurodivergent people in school? They separate them, or they're the problem.
Yeah, and there's been a big push to start integrating more, but then that causes its own set of issues, because there are a lot of folks on the spectrum who just really struggle with integrating, and then that causes a different set of issues, and it's like
But think about what you said earlier about not being out and about because of Julie's situation and what that's done to your mental health. You don't want to get back out and do things. So it's separation.
It's stagnating.
It's separating separating from the childhood. Is that the answer to the problem, or is that just making the problem worse?
And I've actually I've kind of regressed. So for a while I got in a wreck not a couple years back, and since then it's gotten harder to get out, and then I kind of started to slowly get over it, right? And then now
Right.
I'm getting back to where I have to hype myself up to leave the house.
Leave the
again.
house, right?
So
Right.
okay, I can do this. I gotta. And,
Let me sit down and have a swift talk with myself.
yeah, I mean, I gotta do the same dang thing when I'm doing this podcast too. Y'all saw it. I'm like, okay, time to get ready. And I'm just talking to my buddies, like, why is that hard? I don't know.
I don't understand it.
At the end of the
'Cause it's
day,
being recorded.
it's just us chatting,
Right.
which is what we do normally.
Exactly.
But now we're recording. Now there's a
Right.
pressure to
Yeah,
it.
now there's
Right.
a performance aspect to it, and
Right. Performance anxiety.
exactly.
But again, man, it's cool though, because this is what I told Misty when we were talking about like getting on the podcast and doing whatever. She was like, well, what are you going to talk about? I was like, do you think talking's ever been a problem for me? And she's like, no. I was like, so if they bring up a topic, well, that's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah,
I mean, I know the topic's ADHD and functionality, but I mean, again, I lived that life. I've lived that life for 45 years.
Yep.
Again, there's things that like I never knew a lot of this stuff because again, I wasn't medically diagnosed with it. I never knew some of this stuff to be until, I started doing research on my own. And then, Mike, to be honest with you, like I said before, it's like a lot of this is stemmed from just being your friend and learning about what you deal with and what you struggle with, and then start going, that makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah, shoot, that makes sense. Oh, God, that's exactly why that is like it is. And then doing research and going, oh, that's exactly why that is the way that it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then, we've got a couple other volunteers at the nonprofit that are the exact same way.
Yep.
And seeing, again, it's like, man, so it may be that divergency thing to where we're starting to unite.
Oh, yeah, there's a magnet to the it's starting right here.
Right. We're gonna take over the world. No, I'm just.
I mean, you joke about it, but there is a magnetism to it.
totally
It is.
I gravitated towards the other autistic people at work.
Yeah, right.
We sort of intrinsically were able to identify each other.
Yeah,
Right. And would you agree though that you feel like you can be more of yourself around them? And not have to hold back or hide certain aspects of who you are.
The mask.
Right. You're right.
A little bit, yeah.
Bro, I mean, but it's crazy because I mean, if you think about it, is that any way to live your life?
Nope.
So I've
masking
actually
sucks.
gotten out of the habit of masking.
Right.
Well, I still mask to some degree or another, but for the most part, when I'm at work, and I've stopped caring about how the other workers feel about me.
Right.
And so it's like, there's no need for me to keep up appearances for people I don't care about.
Right.
And as callous as that sounds,
I mean,
it's like,
that's you growing.
hey,
But it's a lot of
Yeah.
truth in that too, though.
Yep.
Would you say that the other people that work with you have helped you to be that way at work? Like knowing there are other people that understand you for you instead of you having to either mask or explain it all the time?
it's a bit of the positive, bit of the negative, knowing
Right.
there are other people at work who are in the same or similar scenario to me.
Right.
It's definitely helped me adjust to be more myself
Right.
in that presence. At the same time, I don't like a lot of the people I work with,
Right.
so as bad as that sounds.
Right. No, I mean, it's just the truth, bro. I mean, that's the.
Yeah. And that by itself, so I don't have to put up appearances for these people
Right.
because I don't dislike them, but I don't like them.
Right. At the end of the day,
And-
who really cares?
Yeah.
Right.
So
I mean,
I don't need to pretend for them.
Right.
I mean, I do a lot of work from what I consider my community, the autistic and IDD community, and yeah, real talk. There's a lot of them I don't like.
Right.
I just don't. Get
Yeah, I don't like a lot of neurodivergent people. Just to be true.
Yeah, just-
I kind of hate myself, so I really don't like them either. Right. Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
understand
there's plenty that totally rub me the wrong way, and that's
Right.
okay. I'll still fight for them too. Just
Right.
stay quiet, out of my way.
I mean, it's willingness, but that's the other side to it too, is willingness to understand that not everybody's the same,
Mhm.
and most people are completely different, and it just is what it is. I don't like you because of you, not because of your differences.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of times that's the struggle though, is getting past the BS aspect to it and really starting to get down to the crux of, it's not your disability that I don't like, I just don't like you.
Yeah.
If you're gonna hate someone, you hate them for the right reasons.
right.
Exactly. It's not because you're autistic and you're weird. It's just because I don't like you.
It's not because you're autistic, it's just because you're an
Yeah.
Yeah. Just because you are who you are does have nothing to do with what your brain does. It's your mouth most of the time. Is there anything else you want to cover, dude? Is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, I do need to get going and get ready for class. So
Yeah, because I was going to say it's almost 5.
yeah. So Jess, you want to plug some stuff that you do?
I mean, I don't have to, bro. I mean, we can talk about the ministry if that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so you want to talk about the future, or you just want to talk about what we're doing now?
Probably just what you're doing now, because the future stuff is still TBD.
Yeah, for sure.
Under
So
construction.
basically, how I met Michael is I run a nonprofit here in our area that helps feed and clothe people in our community that are less fortunate, and try to get them the basic necessities of life, food and clothes. And then what we do with that, on top of that, is let me see. I lost my train of thought. What is it your boy says? ADD.
So guys, ADHD.
So guys, ADHD. No, and again, it's just, I've been doing it since before I retired. I got into community policing when I was in law enforcement, when I got hurt, and then I expanded out from there, and then I started this nonprofit while I was still in law enforcement. And because I grew up poor. I grew up with nothing. I joke a lot and say my first relationship with a deity was going to the refrigerator and praying that there was something to eat when I opened the door. I know, as weird as that sounds, it's the truth. But I thought to myself, in the community policing aspect, I said, what could I do to help my local community the same way that I'm helping this community in which I don't live in? And my wife and I decided to start the nonprofit. We've actually been open and operating for 14 years with no paid staff, so it's pretty cool to be able to see that. But again, it's just trying to offer stuff that the community needs, the basic stuff that community needs to live life. And that, again, that's been a good process to see grow and come to fruition.
So if any listeners want to contribute to the cause, how would they go about doing that?
They can go to dreamalign.com. So basically the organization is Dream. So it's like you go to sleep and dream and align. So it's ALIGN .com. And they can go there and donate through our PayPal portal. You can go to the website. You can get our address and send stuff to us, non-perishable stuff to us through Amazon. You can take and mail us gift cards from Walmart, places like that where we do buy product from, to our mailing address. Or you could just cut us a check. Anybody hits the lottery and would like to give us a couple $1 million, we definitely love that. Just know that all of the money donated goes right back into the community. Like I said before, we don't have any paid staff,
Yep.
so everything that comes in goes right back out.
Yep. Very low overhead. Good stuff.
Yeah. The coolest thing about it is, and then I'll shut up, is the coolest thing about it is when I originally started the nonprofit, my board of directors, we worked really hard to figure out a way to have no donor dollars go to overhead costs.
Mm-hmm.
And by that standard, we bought the building that we're housed in, so we own that, so there's no mortgage. And then the board of directors continues to donate to cover what overhead costs we do have, electrical, gas, stuff like that. We do donate to cover those costs. So every donor dollar that comes in, none of it goes toward that overhead.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's about all we have for today. Make sure you also buy our merch. Go donate to Dream Align.
Don't skip out on the Team Autismo stickers.
Yeah.
Those
Stickers.
things are
Let's see, we got stickers, hats, shirts, and more to come. I am coming up with new designs like almost weekly now. It's actually becoming a bit of a problem.
I appreciate you guys letting me come on, man. Just let me share.
Yeah.
I hope to, even though the third autistic guy comes back, maybe you guys can have me on a little bit more because I love to talk.
Yeah, I'm wanting to do more guest stuff, anyways, and I'm looking for some more people too. So
For sure.
yeah. All right, cool.
Lear, appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you.
All right, folks, that's it for episode 4. Thank you so much for listening. And hey, if you want to do me a huge favor, please leave a comment, subscribe, follow, or leave a good rating on whatever platform you found this podcast on. It's really, really helpful for us. In fact, it's probably even more helpful than buying our merch. So I really appreciate it if you could do that. See you next time.